She's got a smile, and it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as a bright blue sky. And now and then when I see her face, she takes me away to that special place. If I stay too long, I'll probably break down and cry.
Fortunately, my houseboat motor is not as new as my dinghy motor. And it's a 2006, but when I went to go back off the island, I immediately hit 6,000 RPMs, which made me think I did a shear pin. And I thought, oh, that's my luck. I ruined my shear pin because I did something about that on my last video, but actually the whole prop's gone. The prop nut that goes on first to hold it away from the motor, and then the nut that holds it in place, and the propeller, and then the cotter pin and the locking mechanism to hold the bolt from spinning is all gone, and the water's not clear enough to see any of that. So we're gonna jump in the dinghy and head to the marina store to get a new propeller. It's kind of windy today, and it's coming from weird angles all over the place in here. I'm leaving Cricket on the boat with the diesel heater going at 19 Celsius, I think it is, or 20 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's warm in there. Having done that, I put the generator on the anchor to stop it from pulling out if it should get windy in here. And then I also tied off to a tree. If the anchor should pull out, the houseboat can't get out of this bay. So it won't be out in the river or moving around, or it won't even go off and hit the land over there or anything. So, but I do that to keep Cricket safe. And I need River's leash before we go. And diesel, we gotta get diesel. Don't look right. Yeah, so we're gonna go. I called the marina or a boat place near us that does dry storage for, trailered boats, and read off my serial number. I'll be honest with you, it was hard to hang off the back of the boat and get the serial number. You almost need the dinghy. River, come on, get back inside. Thank you. You almost need the dinghy. But he had everything. It took a bit. They're doing inventory, so it took him a bit to kind of figure out where everything was, but he has it all. So I'm gonna go buy a propeller, washer, a nut that holds it on, another washer, and another, it's like a tin thing that goes over everything that is the shape of the nut, and you put a cotter pin through to hold everything in place. Which the reason why this all happened was because my cotter pin rusted, and if you look back a year ago, I was like, man, I should replace that, it looks bad already. And then now this just happened to me, and I waited a whole year and didn't replace it. I was in On Dry Land is the name of the episode. I don't know what number, but it was season 2, and I just let my boat sit on, in the mud, and you could see the cotter pin, and I was like, oh, I should replace that, but I didn't. And now I'm suffering for it. Now I'm paying for a propeller. However, I know where that propeller is, and when it gets a little warmer, I'll go get it. Alright, so we got the prop and all the pieces to go back on. The prop was $80 and all the pieces were about $80. Alright, so I filled up that tank and I filled up the diesel. Got the prop and all the parts in there. And I grabbed a rope out of the truck. I was using to haul wood. I'll take this type of problem anytime. Anything that I can just quickly fix, run to a store, buy a part, and just quickly fix, actually gives me something to do during the day, and I kind of look forward to it. So this type of problem doesn't bother me. I don't have to hire a mechanic. I just had to just take a drive with my dog in the dinghy and in the pickup truck. This ain't bad. I didn't bring any tools, so let's hope my fingers are strong enough to mess with this pin. Take it back, I got a knife. Alright. Let's go put the motor down and see if we can drive it onto the beach. I didn't mention this, but you got to make sure your motor's in neutral before you do any of this work. You can actually start the motor or have the motor kick over through one cylinder by rotating the prop in the back there if it's in gear. Same as pulling the string. There we go. That's how motors are supposed to work. The last time I was here, I purposely put this stick right there. And I think a lot of fishermen and a lot of people who use lakes over and over, they mark things. That stump right there, that's a prop ender. You know, that'll mess up a prop. It probably, if I was coming in slow, it probably wouldn't pierce a pontoon. And I could tell you guys how pontoons are built, but basically, even if you pierce them, they don't sink. Um, Pontoons are dang near unsinkable because there's so many compartments in them and stuff. Yeah, look at that. So I mark it, and now I know when I pull in here, I can get right next to the stump because I know where it is. What are you doing, little girl? Why are you on the diesel can? Hey, Cricket. And River wants to play frisbee, so I'm gonna go play with my pets. It's a beautiful day. Everything's so peaceful, and then River comes along. He's such a boy. Yeah, he's like a boy. He's a boy.
I'm storming on the corner, about to catch the last train home. I'll have to jump the barriers. So can you spare a penny for my thoughts? I've been praised upon the pavement. Passers by don't pay much. Chased away by neighbors, seen things you couldn't make up. If the streets could talk, they'd tell a story or two. I'll paint a picture for you. I can tell you what it feels like to lose your home on a cold night. Can you see the blood in my red eyes? Have another total forget life. So come and fly away with me to a place where we could be anyone we wanna be. And we can bottle up our fear, brew a taste so sweet, knock us off our feet and more. Burn our troubles, inhale them all, paint the future on a fractured wall. So come and fly away with me to a place where we can be anyone we wanna be. Still in the station when I wake up, I missed the last train home. Jump back over the barriers. No one's got a penny for my floors. I'm asleep up on the pavement. Passers by don't say much. Sorted up by strangers, dream things you'd never dream of. If these streets could talk, they'd tell a story or two. I'll paint a picture for you. I can tell you what it feels like to lose something you love on a cold night. As the cars roll by under the street lights, there's only one way I can forget life. So come and fly away with me to a place where we...
He just can't help messing with that cat. If like 10 minutes goes by and he hasn't gone near the cat, he just has to do it. Oh, another animal. Bye, River. You know, it's 50 degrees out, but he's still finding shade away from the sun. And 50 degrees. Alright, I'll pay. So I got a couple of things from the dollar store. A bunch of little pencils, some paper, and a whiteboard. Because I want to start trying to figure out how on earth I want to build a tiny house. Now I want a tiny house, but the problem is I want some porches that come off of the side too. Screened in and, you know, just porch. So I'm going to sit here and try to figure that out, and I think I'm going to make some tacos. For the last meal of this year is going to be tacos. I also got myself a new, it's a tablet, but it opens up and it plays DVDs too. So I have a couple of DVDs with me. I'm going to go ahead and watch all 3 Ghostbusters, including the 2017 version. Make some tacos. You wouldn't think that there's, you know, baby fish at this time of year, but the water is teeming with baby fish right now. And these guys are just filling their bellies before the evening. And it's so, you wouldn't, you know, unless you follow one of them the whole time, you think they're just diving randomly over schools of fish, but really they are hovering and watching, and each one's taking their time and picking their time to dive. They're not just diving down and swimming for fish. They see something from the air very clearly they're going after. And then there's a bald eagle in the mix, coming down and grabbing food. Typically bald eagles will grab whatever fish is floating up on the top of the water. Now these schools of fish are actually being attacked from below, and you can kind of see every once in a while there'll be a big fish that comes in and tries to attack the school. Same thing with the birds. They're just going to dive in and, I don't know, they just kind of react to everything coming at them. See that? Yeah. It's a lot of food and a lot of like eating, even though it's 30 degrees out. It's kind of crazy. Remember I talked about I was going to release a playlist called Building Stuff. I made that public last week. Some of you found it. Essentially, it starts out with a $300 boat that I got from the 50s, Cavella, and I fixed that up, and that was the first boat I ever fixed up. And then it goes into a couple of different houseboats. It also, the second and third videos on the playlist are my truck camper, where I hand built a wooden truck camper to go in my pickup, and took that camping during those videos. If you look at everything that I've built up to date, I've never made anything other than a flat roof. And I am learning from a friend of mine, Jamie, which you guys have seen in a couple of videos. He builds houses for a living. He builds one house a year and then he sells it. The one thing that separates him from a lot of people is that he mills the lumber, and a lot of his house, when you walk around his house, it's actually trees from his property. That's inspiring me to do the tiny house this way. I gotta tell you, I don't think it would be any more difficult or less difficult to just go buy the wood from Home Depot and build it. I actually think that it's time. I think that it's based on time. But when I see the way the roofs are on houses, I'm not going to be able to, I don't know, I've never done that. So I'm going to be working with him while he's building this house and looking at his other couple of houses to kind of figure that out. That's going to be a new process for me. But in those buildings, everything, if you start looking at what I've done, it's leading me up to this project. You know, I started real small, which is fixing a couple of things, building a bench and a little boat, and then I built basically my first houseboat with a screened-in porch. Yeah. So if you go, whenever you see a YouTube channel, when you see my icon, it's a picture of me inside my sailboat from someone who was on a mast looking down. When you look at that, you can click on it. When you click on it, that goes to my channel. On my channel, you can go over to playlists, and you can actually click different playlists. There's, you know, season 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then on there will be building stuff. In this playlist is just me building stuff, right? There's no travel or anything. Then, if you'd like, and what I did when I started looking at the Vagabond and Delos, when I was just learning how to sail and wanting to watch people sail around the world and scuba dive, and basically I was learning to snorkel and sail and live on a boat from watching these channels. But rather than just, you know, watching them for where you catch them, you can go and under the tabs you just hit video, and then you can sort them from oldest to newest. If you start at the oldest, you can work your way from the beginning when they first started YouTube. And if you watch an episode that you like now, right? And then you go back to previous episodes where you're like, whoa, this person didn't know how to edit, and they didn't know how to use music, or they weren't paying for licensing to have actual nice music in their videos. Watch the videos. It's kind of cool to see these people. For instance, you know, watching someone build a cabin. The first log that they try to pick up, they can't move it. 30 episodes into them building a cabin, they're not only strong enough to pick up the log and move it by themselves already, but they know how to move it and actually roll it around and what to do with it. And it's kind of cool to watch people learn as they go. But just because you found someone in the middle of a trip doesn't mean that you can't back up and go all the way to the beginning of their videos. Just by going to the video tab and changing to the oldest first, starting there and working your way down. I recommend doing that. I have over 250 videos at this point. Even though my episodes say 77 or 78, that's just season 3. You know, I have several seasons before this that have 30 or 40 episodes in it. The next couple of weeks, I'm going to be trying to cut up the wood and, you know, make interior drawings of this house and figure out the square footage. In my head right now, I've kind of figured out the actual house, not the porches, is going to be 12 feet wide, 20 feet long. I've been in that space walked around in it, and it seems extremely huge to me because I live on a boat, but it's still in that world of very tiny house, and it won't affect my taxes very much and stuff like that on that property. So next time will be kind of exciting. We'll figure out what to do. We'll go from there. I'll see you guys. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. Everyone, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it.